Welcome to this short screencast on jQuery, a JavaScript library that's very popular. The purpose of jQuery is to make it just easy to use JavaScript. They've simplified some of the calls. It's lightweight. It allows you to manipulate the DOM, CSS, events, effects and animations are built into it. It supports Ajax and it has a bunch of utilities. And best of all, jQuery is supported by all major browsers. So you can use it, you get the same JavaScript code, you have the same behavior on all major browsers. So it's a very simple library to use, and it's just a very nice set of extension to JavaScript that makes developing JavaScript and dynamic web pages a lot easier. So how do you add jQuery to your website or your project? First off, you could download the jQuery JavaScript files and then add a script tag. As long as your server's serving up your jQuery min.js, you're fine. You can also do it from a content delivery network. Here are the links for the content delivery network. One of the benefits of using the CDNs is that if the browser's already visited that particular thing, they'll have cached the JavaScript, so it makes it come in quicker. One minor issue is if you're having some connectivity issues or the internet's got some issues, you may not get it may take longer to load that script because it is doing another GET request out there to do it. If they've loaded your website, then the server for your website is working. If code jQuery is down or Google APIs is down or ASP.NET is down, then you've got some issues that you might not be able to do it. Still, Content Delivery Network is nice. You can get the latest versions. It's a nice way of going. One of the features that's very nice about jQuery is they have the concept of a document ready function that stops or doesn't allow the JavaScript inside of this function to run until the document has rendered. If you don't wrap your JavaScript in something like this, you might have your JavaScript functions running before the DOM is rendered. And that can cause some issues with if you're trying to hide an element. Well, you might be trying to hide an element that hasn't been created or rendered yet. That'll cause an exception or an error in your console, and your JavaScript won't run well. So there's two ways to do it. You can use the selector on the document, and you call ready, and so that's saying that the document is ready, it's been rendered, and all the JavaScript in that body will run after the document's ready. You can also, the shortcut is you just do a $ open paren function, and that script will run when the document is ready also. Very powerful tool. If you don't do that, you have to check to see whether the element exists, is not undefined, or is not null. So it saves a lot of checking for undefined and not null. Very handy feature that's useful. The jQuery syntax, basically they use the $ selector. That's the way they've designed it, and it's a query, so it's just like the CSS. In fact, that's why it's called jQuery, is that the select is based upon a CSS selector. And then you have an action that is a function that you could run on the jQuery object that you get back. So $this is applied to this element. You can hide this element. You could hide all the p tags. You could hide all the classes with the name, with the class test, or you can hide the element whose ID is test. So you could see the variety of the selectors, and each of those have a jQuery function, and there's hundreds of them, and they're often very useful. So what are some of the examples for jQuery? Huge big table of different selectors. Star selects all elements. This is the current element. You can see it's p.intro, so I want to select all the paragraphs that are of class intro. You can use the colon notation, so p first, select only the first paragraph in the page. You want to select the first unuttered list item, You can select the first child of the first of all elements. Href, select all elements with the attribute. Links with the target of foo. All the buttons or input types of buttons, and then you even have evens or odds, so you can say I want all the even rows or all the odd rows. So very powerful. Their selector language is very powerful. jQuery also has events very, very similar to the DOM events. In fact, they're using the same names, similar to the add action listener function. So if you want to cause a selector's click, you can define its function to be define the function, double click, mouse enter, mouse leave, key press, very similar to the add action listener. You can attach events to the document and window, as this was we talked about briefly in our DOM event discussion. The function, again, you take the selector, you type the type of event you want, and then you define the function, and that will apply that function whenever that selector's clicked or changed or whatever. It simplifies your adding events to the particular things, instead of having to add action event, the event name, and then the function. jQuery also has a bunch of nice graphic animation type things. You can hide and show elements. So you say selector hide a speed, optional callback. The callback is a function that will execute when the effect is completed. So you can get a sense of when it's done. You can hide, you can show, and you toggle. Toggle just switches back and forth between hiding and showing. Very nice effect for maybe help things where you can click on the little help icon, open up show a panel or something with some help text. You click on it again, it hides. Very nice feature. You can fade in, fade out. So we can fade in, the thing will slowly appear, it will fade out, toggle, and then you can fade to a specific opacity. And again, you can attach a callback function optionally that will be called when the animation or the fading in and out is completed. Slide up, slide down. You can move your things up and down, or open and close, so sliding, sort of an accordion type effect. Bootstrap has this same feature. In fact, I believe Bootstrap uses the jQuery effects to get that feature for their accordions. There's a general animation. You can use the animate function, and then you set the parameters to tell what the animation is. Again, you supply a speed, fast or slow, and then, or milliseconds, how long do you want to take this animation, how long do you want it to take, and then a callback to be called if it does. The example might be, you have grab the div whose ID is foo, you say animate, so you move it left 100 pixels slowly, and then change its font size to 3 EM, which probably shrinks it, and that slows. So it queues all the animation calls, and then it will take them one at a time. The stop function, you can stop all, or you can say go to the end. So to complete the current animation if we're in the middle.